What's up, you guys? It's TJ here again this morning, and today I want to talk to you guys about the concept of not taking yourself too seriously. If it doesn't make sense when I say that right now, I hope that by the end of the video you feel a weight lifted off your shoulders and understand that this life is a gift and we can do more than we think we're capable of doing with it. Alright? So the first point I want to come to in this talk is that death and change are the only two things in this life that are guaranteed. They're inevitable, there's nothing that we can do to fight them, but if we understand and accept those points, we can free a lot of energy up to create our lives in the way that we desire, as opposed to allowing external influences to kind of guide us down a path that we may not be extremely joyful about. So understanding that death and change are inevitable, you know that eventually your life will come to an end. There's nothing you can do to prolong it. There's nothing that you can do. Well, there is something you can do to shorten it, but I would hope that nobody would intentionally take their life. I hope that they would speak to somebody or even me and talk about why it is that they're feeling that way, because life is precious. But knowing that life is a short-lived experience, it kind of frees you up to understand, okay, what do I want to do with my life? What do I want to accomplish before that time comes? And how am I going to get there, right? Because you'll always be forgotten at the end of the day. Your memory of yourself and other people's memories of you, they may last a long time. They may last hundreds or even thousands of years, depending on how great you become and what amazing things you accomplish. But eventually, just like everything else in life, it will fade into the background. It will eventually go into history and just continue. The trajectory of the earth and the trajectory of existence in general will continue to go forward, and your time period will be here. And so people will gradually move away from it. It's just the nature of things, right? So understanding both of those things, that you're eventually going to die and that you'll eventually also be forgotten, it frees you up to make more mistakes and to look worse and to not be afraid to look stupid, right? And that brings me to my second point, which is that mistakes and failure are the only way that you can actually grow, right? Very rarely are you going to be able to pick something up very first try and it be perfect, right? Most times, if you look at even just, for example, a child, if they're trying to learn how to walk, they have to fall hundreds of thousands of times. They have to continuously fall and get up, fall and get up. But if they were to never continue to go down that path, if they weren't to have that resilience and persistence of, I want to walk. I've seen my caregivers or my brothers and sisters walk on 2 feet. I want to be able to do that, and I'm not going to stop trying until I figure it out. If they didn't have that, they would always stay either crawling or stationary. They wouldn't have developed the skill of walking in themselves, right? And it's the same for everything in life. We forget and we try to get the quick fixes and, the 5 steps to how I get this down, but it's not how it works. It takes repetition, it takes persistence, it takes just being able to deal with the frustrations that come with trying new things and pushing past it until we master whatever it is that we're trying to master. And that's going to come with so many mistakes and so many failures. But when we put that pressure on our shoulder, when we continuously either put ourselves down or doubt our capabilities to learn, we're taking ourselves too seriously and we're slowing down our growth process. If we can find a way to enjoy those mistakes, to enjoy those failures, and get the same sense of accomplishment when making baby steps, just as much as if we were to accomplish that goal, or even more than when we accomplish our goal, then we start to realize that, okay, learning can be fun. Learning can be something that I enjoy doing, as long as I understand that frustration's a part of it, failure's a part of it. Sometimes looking stupid, sometimes other people making fun of you is going to be a part of it, because other people will always project their own insecurities on you. If they don't feel that they can accomplish something, they're going to tell you that you can't either. But that doesn't mean that you can't. If you believe in yourself and if you have fun with the process, and if you are willing to make those mistakes and not look like a super, mastery of whatever it is that you're trying to do already, then you will eventually get closer and closer and closer to that end goal, and you will realize that those mistakes and those failures in the learning process was the actual enjoyment of the entire thing. The goal is cool and I celebrate when I get to my goal, but the process of it is where I learned about myself. And we're always only experiencing ourselves. We're only ever on a physical sense experiencing our nervous system, our brain, our eyes, our spinal cord. And if we can't regulate those things, and if we can't embrace the stressors that come with life, it's going to be increasingly difficult the longer that we wait and the longer that we live a comfortable life. It's going to become increasingly difficult for us to handle the stress that life throws at us that we're not planning on and not, bringing to ourselves. So also understanding that the more that we put ourselves in those frustrating positions, the more that we put ourselves in those controlled stressors, controlled chaos, the more we actually end up being able to handle the external chaos, the ones that we didn't have any idea were coming, the ones that we didn't plan for, right? And that's a great skill and tool to have, being able to take on stress and stay, level-headed enough to continue to take steps towards what it is that I want to accomplish. And then my last point that I want to get to is that other people's perceptions of you and even your perception of yourself are not who you are at the deepest level. Who you are at the deepest level is a presence. It's an eternal self. It's a soul. And if you can step back and realize, I'm not this mind and I'm not this body, it frees you up to look at yourself objectively. It frees you up to look at yourself from almost a step back and say, okay, this is who I am at this moment, but who do I want to be? Who do I want to become? And understanding that right there, again, frees up some energy for you to create change in yourself. And once you begin to create change in yourself, you create change in your environment because you are now different. You're now vibrating on a different frequency. But understanding that my thoughts aren't me and other people's thoughts aren't me, but I have the ability to begin to rearrange my thoughts about myself. I can introduce new thoughts to myself, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the negative thoughts won't still pop up, but when they do, I may take a breath and just say, okay, I recognize you, I see you, I know where you're coming from, but that's not who I am. And then even with the positive thoughts, knowing that I'm creating these and I'm, becoming this, but I am still who I am at the deepest level. So if you can understand those 3 points, if you can understand that death and change are inevitable, mistakes and failures are the only way you grow, and you're not your mind or your body. You have a chance to create your mind and change the way your brain works, and you also have a chance to create and change your body if you put the time and the effort in. But you aren't those two things. You are something much deeper. If you put all of those points and you start to chip away and add them into your life, I promise you that you will feel more free to create the life that you want to create. And it will just help you understand that if I don't take myself too seriously, if I have fun with my life and embrace the processes that are both negative and positive, the highs and the lows of everything I try to accomplish, I'll enjoy my life because I'm not searching for something outside of me. I'm enjoying the internal process of growth. I'm enjoying the internal process of discovering who I am at the deepest level. And I'm constantly challenging myself to see what I'm really capable of. If you guys do those things on a consistent basis every day and just, like I said, have fun with it, I promise you your life will take a turn that you probably never even knew, and you'll experience more about yourself than you knew was inside. So that's basically my talk for today. As always, I appreciate you guys that tune in. I appreciate you guys that take the time to watch these videos. Like and subscribe if you feel inclined to do so. And I hope that you guys have a great morning, great night, great weekend, whatever it is when you watch this. And I'll see you guys next time.